Wrestling fans, Saturday night, May the 8th, MWF Studios gets extreme as ECW legend New Jack joins us for the very first time, taping episodes of Wrestling Insiders along with taking part in a live cyber autograph signing open to fans around the world. For more information on joining the three-time ECW Tag Team Champion for Must-See TV, visit BostonWrestling.com and our social media platforms.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Mirade.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
The Undisputed Era kicked ass and took no prisoners in WWE NXT. Now you can own this limited edition collector's autographed art print personally signed by Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. Also signed by the original artist, Rob Schamberger, one of only 50 made direct from our friends at WWE. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome collectible for your collection now.
Cheer! Why, hello! I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
Boston Wrestling Sports and the MWF explodes into a new year of unknown with professional wrestling content galore, and we need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after we review the previous night's Monday Night Raw, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with the unpredictable WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights after WWE, NXT, and AEW at 10 p.m., you never know who's going to show up on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey through the 80s and 90s on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday nights after the lights go down at the Thunderdome on SmackDown, it's John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. If you want early, ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and to help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times, for less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insiders Current Events. Dan Mirade will be joined in a moment by my partner in crime for these great endeavors 4 nights a week, Mr. David Carter, as we look at the April 20th, 2021 edition of AEW Dynamite from Ursula Daly's place in Jacksonville, Florida. It's a chilly afternoon here in the zip code of Champion 02176. MWF Studios here in downtown Melrose, Massachusetts. We got the interns rocking and rolling over here. We got Justin editing a podcast. We got Dave looking at God only knows what. And we're talking a little bit of wrestling here over at the podcast penthouse, I guess. I don't know what the hell you'd call my luxury suite where we do these podcasts now behind my desk. I had a wonderful trip to the post office today. sending out all the great goods to our super fans, Dave. And who did I see en route to the post office?
Cecil the Lion.
Sitting in front of the barber shop, Cecil the Lion. Now,
What
Cecil,
was he doing?
He was waiting to get a haircut. I guess he was a little early, so he had to sit on the bench before he was allowed in to have his lion's mane cut. And he didn't know that I knew it was him. So when I walked by, he kind of jumped at me. He lunged at me thinking he was going to scare me, but I knew it was him the whole time. When I had my trip to the post office. Yeah, he roared a little bit. He's very happy that the Coolidge Corner movie theater is going to be reopening. That's one of his favorites. Cecil is someone that has gone to film school. 8 Saturdays. He really put a lot of time and commitment into it. He's going to be renting the Coolidge Corner movie theater for these films. So it's an exciting endeavor for Cecil. He's thrilled the Coolidge Corner is open. I'm thrilled there was almost no line at the post office. I got the goods out for those that were kind enough to place orders, and they'll get shout-outs with some of our great superstars on upcoming episodes of Wrestling Insiders. A lot happening tonight. Don't forget, 10 p.m. That's right. I can't say the top of the hour anymore because our TV reviews start at 7 p.m. with all the original wrestling shows each week now. So at 10 p.m. tonight, the man who hasn't stopped partying since he came out of the womb, Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, is back for Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. No holds barred. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll to the core, baby. I'm looking forward to having Marty with us tonight as we continue to talk WWF 1989. He talks about the Rockers' feud with the Rougeau brothers. He talks about Dino Bravo and Dino Bravo's controversial death when he was supposedly taken out by the Canadian Mafia back in 1993. Talks about the Ultimate Warrior's feud with Andre the Giant when Andre did the majority of the jobs of his WWF career during that stint. Very interesting episode again tonight. Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty, 10 p.m. As we noted, we did a lot of work down at Wrestle House in Tampa. It crushed our numbers for the month because we could not pay attention to detail like we normally would here at the studio. A super chat would help. Giving us a thumbs up would help. Sharing the link across social media would help. Subscribing to the YouTube channel would help. Subscribing to the Patreon would help. Checking out the eBay store would help. The link is in the description box below. So many different ways you can help grow content. I'll tell you this, Dave. Do you want to know what I found very impressive? I guess you don't because you're not responding. Well, you're not even on the phone anymore, Dave. What happened to you? I guess we're going to... Either he didn't want to hear me or he hung up on me.
Hello?
Dave, what happened, brother? I was in the middle of a conversation with you and then you were gone.
I know. And when it got cut out, I don't know what the hell happened.
Well, you weren't gone for too long and I kept talking, so I don't even need to edit it. It's fantastic. But I was getting ready to ask you, listen to this story from yesterday.
Okay.
Now, I was telling you, we have some new interns here at the studio, one of whom is this masked assassin named Justin. And he knows a little bit about some wrestling he was a big WWF fan, probably about, what would you say, Justin, 8-10 years ago? He's nodding at me. Yeah, he's very busy right now editing his podcast about video games, but guess what name he just randomly threw at me out of the blue?
From then?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who?
A man that was at Wrestle House with us, JTG.
You know, I was going to go that route, but I was like, no way. Really?
Yeah,
wow.
He was a JT, not even Crime Time. He actually said JTG. So I reached into my binder of about, 600 8x10s we brought home from all the guests and the autograph signings we had down at the Wrestle House. And the assassin Justin is now the proud owner of a JTG Chia autographed 8x10 photo. I asked him if he got a frame for it. He didn't. He said he taped it to the wall of his bathroom. I don't know why he did that, but he's an interesting character. I don't know. Maybe he'll join us for the live pay-per-view watch-along Sunday night when we look at Impact Wrestling Rebellion. Maybe Justin can be the man to read the YouTube comments. I know our good friend Jackie the Joke Man will be in the control room, which will always lead to some humor, if nothing else. So we're going to be having a good time when we see the AEW in Impact Wrestling Champions Clash Sunday night. Is it 7 or 8 o'clock? I don't even know.
I think 7.
You think 7? All right. Well,
Well, it
sometimes
was 7, but they also switched the date.
that's true too. They moved it to Sunday because of, what was it, for UFC?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
UFC has their big event in Jacksonville where they sold tickets. So it's going to be an interesting night. We always have fun with our watch-alongs. Impact, they don't have too many pay-per-views, so it should be a good one. Whether you order the pay-per-view and watch along with us, or if you just want to listen to our banter, you are welcome to. Maybe we'll put the Wheel of Fortune out, otherwise known to us as the Ring of Fortune. Maybe we'll have some prizes available to try and help the cause. I know our great moderators like Slick Rick B up in Maine, Maria Davis of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Tina, Smokey, Stoney, whatever your true name is, you have that blue wrench. Dave, if we can ever get you into a premiere, we're even going to give you a blue wrench.
Oh, I'm there.
All right. Well, we need high-quality moderators, and we have our great fans, of course, that will be with us. I'm sure Brian D. will be checking in after he speaks with Choo Choo Charlie, otherwise known as CD up in Maine, and all the great guests, Don the Barber, Kevin Petrantozzi down in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Gold Exchange. See, I'm getting good with his name. I felt so bad I said it wrong for so long, and I'm a Paisan myself, so... Yeah, I should have had it, but it's a little longer than Mirade, you know what I mean?
Right on.
Not but the whole last name, though, the two-part last name, which is almost like alphabet soup, but we don't need to share that on this program.
That's right.
Exactly. Some things remain top secret. Nonetheless, let's talk a little AEW as opposed to all this nonsense we open the show with as we try and get the fans to join us before what's tonight's big show? Impact Wrestling, correct?
Impact. Yes.
Impact Wrestling on AXS TV.
Or Twitch.
You can watch it either way tonight, fans, at 8 p.m., I believe.
Yes.
Well, and then after AEW goes off the air at 10, like I said, you have Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty, where the party never ends. Marty is, this is a good one. Marty was well-spirited. How about we say that?
I love it.
If you love WWF, if you love the late 1980s WWF, this is the show for you. But if you're an AEW Dynamite fan, this is the show for you right now, because we're going to go over the show from A to Z last night. I now pass the baton to Dave Carter, who is in his car right now, and I am wondering if he is with one of his Tinder pigs.
Nope, I'm just outside the grocery store getting ready to do a little food shopping tonight.
Oh, really? You're doing it in the parking lot of a supermarket?
Yeah, Shaw's to be exact.
Not Cecil Shaw's.
No, the one in Londonderry.
The Londonderry one. All right, well, you know what? I have a feeling that you've been sending out some messages on the Tinder while you were waiting for me to set this podcast up.
No, I wasn't doing that. But let's go.
All right.
AEW Dynamite from April 21st, 2021. We kick it off with a match. Ricky Starks with Hook versus Adam Page. We both love both guys, so I already knew this would be a hell of a match, and it was. We had Taz on commentary. Like I said, it was a great match. Sorry. Everything was very smooth with it. I see a lot of potential in both guys. Ricky Starks gained a little bit of weight. And oh my God, I think he's got money written all over him. Taz, after the match, Adam Page wins by submission. Taz gets on the mic after the match and goes, "You got lucky. Watch your back." And I really mean watch your back. And all of a sudden, Hook attacks Page. Then Starks joins in. Then Brian Cage comes out as well. But before he could do anything, Dark Order comes out and saves the day for him. I know. I know. I thought
Seven Dwarfs of AEW, the Dark Order.
I thought everything was good until that ending with the Dark Order. Because I mean, it didn't matter who won, because both guys are top level guys. I mean, not on the card. I mean, just in general, good workers. So I wasn't mad at who won. I just thought they could have just finished it with that. No, they have to have the Dark Order come out.
Of course, overbooked at the end, but the match itself I thought was very good. I would have flipped the script. I would have had the closing match open the show, and I would have had this match close the show. But that's just me.
That was part of my review.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sorry I stole your shit, but I guess we were thinking the same thing. No, exactly. I mean, I don't think I've ever met Ricky Starks in person because in my mind, I can't place how big he is on the radar screen. Size-wise, to me, might be the only thing hurting him because other than that, he is almost the total package. Could be thicker? Absolutely. Height-wise, again, it's kind of hard for me to tell off of television without meeting him. But if I'm Tony Khan in AEW, this is the guy I'm grooming to be one of the top heels for my company over the next 5 years. That's how strongly I feel about him. Once things calm down in life, I'd love to try and get a lot of the AEW talent here into the studio for interviews, the cyber autograph signings and whatnot. I think it would be a lot of fun, and it would be great for us to get to know some of these AEW talents that we don't know right now.
Exactly. I totally agree. Ricky Starks definitely has the potential. And that's the thing is they talk about making stars. Well, this is a guy you definitely could make a star with. So hopefully they'll end up doing that. We'll see what happens.
WWE missed the boat when they had him at a tryout camp.
I didn't even know he was part of it. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what are you going to do? From there, they show the Elite, or I guess they're called the Elite now. They have a name, I guess, because that's what they called them. So I don't know, because last week I just called them the Crew. I didn't know what they were called. They show up, arriving out back and walking into their trailer. We go to commercial. We come back from commercial and we get Penta El Zero versus Alex Abrahantis. Is that how you say his last name? It was long.
Yeah, that was it.
There you go. Versus Trent with Cassidy. Good match. I mean, Penta's really, really good. I actually like Trent a lot. I don't know how you feel about Trent. I think he's really good. I think he sucks when he's with Chucky T and Orange Cassidy by himself. I think he's got, he definitely can. He's got a lot of potential, I think, in him. He can talk on the mic.
You just took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, I think he's really good by himself. When he's with those other two idiots, it really takes away from the presentation. There's nothing about Chuck Taylor or Orange Cassidy I want to see. Justin said they're terrible, so I have to go with what he says.
Exactly. Penta won by pinfall just to finish up the match. What did you think of the match itself? Good, right?
Wasn't bad at all. Wasn't bad at all. I just, again, it's one of those situations where it's the circumstances around it sometimes that just kind of suck. But the body work was very good.
Yeah, right on. We had a pre-taped early in the day interview by Jim Ross with the Pinnacle. MJF talks about his scarf. He says Tully's at home right now. MJF gets a new scarf from Wardlow. Wardlow says Jericho, one of the best promos, but MJF is better. MJF says you're not the leading guy anymore. I'm the one guy you can't outsmart. I'm great, period. We are the best faction in pro wrestling today. I already beat you, by the way. Send your family out and I'll send mine. See who's better. Sorry. I'll make the spot. I'll take your spot. He's going to take his spot, basically saying that Jericho's going to lose it all and MJF's his top. I kind of like what they're doing. I think the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle are going to, I think that's going to be a good match, but I have some news for you on. I don't know if you've already seen about it.
You got scoops. What do you got? Oh, you wait till the end.
I'll tell you once we do the news at the end, but I don't know how you're going to feel about that because they're doing it next week, but just some stuff that I've been reading and seen. But anyways, I do like this. I love the name. I love that they're going to face the Inner Circle. I just hope it's not a drawn out 8-month year thing. I hope it's, we get away from this at some point or it's going to be just watered down.
Well, you got to see how it plays out. I mean, with so many different guys involved, look at the Von Erichs and the Freebirds. That went on weekly in the same arena for years, and they kept it fresh.
But the only reason why I say this is because there's so many factions in
AEW. Without a doubt, yeah.
So it's just hard. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? And what are we going to get the same matches from all those? Like, I don't know. That's what I meant. But, yeah, I know what you mean. We should definitely let it play out and see what happens.
There's a lot of guys in the two factions, if nothing else.
Right, exactly.
So that could lead to, a lot of creative matches building to, I imagine, that's what they're going to use for their, what do they call their war games? Blood and Guts?
Blood and Guts, yeah.
I imagine that would be my educated guess, would be you'll see the Pinnacle and Inner Circle go at it in the Blood and Guts. A two-ring cage war.
Well, that's it. That's what I'm getting at. Do you want me to say what I've already read?
Sure.
That's the only match that's happening in the 2-hour block next week.
What?
Yeah, one match, and it's that match.
They're going to go 2 hours with 10 guys?
Reported from your buddy, your best pal, Dave Meltzer.
I don't know why you say that. I like Dave Meltzer an awful lot, but
you love him.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. 10, 20, 30 years from now, people, wrestling fans that aren't even wrestling fans now, some that may not even be born, are going to be very grateful for his historical work.
Oh, shit. Guy's a jerk off. He makes
Well, I mean, you know what? Here's the thing. There's a difference. There's a difference between his history and there's a difference between his opinion. What is that?
You know why I don't? Because whenever we go through it, like if you listen to one of the Eric Bischoffs or the Irons or the Kurt Angles or anything, he reports what he said during that time, and he's completely wrong. Completely wrong. Not even an ounce right. So how can we ever look back and be like, oh, this guy, he sucks. Wow, I can put the history of you. You do it every day. That's the only thing he's good at? Well, don't call yourself a journalist because you're terrible at it. And that's what just gets me going, because anything that's ever reported out of his newsletters from the past, when they go over things that happened at the time, no, it never happened.
Well, that's if those people are being honest or their memory is correct.
But why wouldn't they now? Like, it doesn't make any sense. They don't have nothing to gain for
well, here's the thing. Let's just say we're talking a Bruce Pritchard podcast, and they're talking about a subject from 25 years ago. A lot has gone on in Bruce Pritchard's life over the past 25 years. Maybe his memory isn't as sharp in 2021 as Meltzer was reporting on news as he heard it in 1996. Does that make any sense?
Right, but I didn't mention him because he still works for the company. Notice I didn't say that. I said Arn, and I said Eric Bischoff, and I said I didn't say him because I know, obviously, that one is hard because he does work for WWE.
Right.
But the other three don't have nothing to gain from lying. You know what I'm saying? And I've heard wrestlers, too, like just random, like they all interviews, like he tells so much false narrative. He's not a real journalist. He's just a guy doing it in his basement.
I think
watching wrestling in his PJs.
I think the knock against him is too much of it is his opinion as opposed to what he sees and what he hears. Does that make any sense?
I get it. And the also thing is, too, is what I hate is when he is wrong, he doesn't say, oh, I was wrong. He says, it was told to me like that. It's not my fault that I reported it. No,
but he's not wrong, though. But I mean, that's the thing that's not wrong about it.
But here's the thing is, he doesn't give any sources. So how do you know he's not just, I could say, oh, guess what, Dan, I heard this from this and I make this up. And then I'm like, well, I did hear from this guy, but then you ask me who, and I don't tell you.
Well, with the politics involved in professional wrestling, that would cost someone their job.
I just feel like nobody gives a shit about him anymore.
Well,
he's just he's an idiot. He's literally doing what we're doing, except we don't freaking, lie. We just tell it like it is.
He makes 6 figures a year doing it, so he's got to be doing something right.
Does he make that much?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I doubt it.
I know believe me.
I know he probably obviously makes money because he does his newsletter, but I don't think he makes that. Who's paying for him that? Who the hell's talking to him? He's a garbage journalist that doesn't actually do any. He doesn't give any sources. It's all just from my person. I've heard this. I talked.
As someone that has worked in wrestling, I understand completely why he cannot reveal his sources.
He doesn't get the pass on it. I'm sorry, no.
I mean, here's the thing. If he revealed his sources, it would cost those people their jobs.
But okay, and that's a point. That's true. But how come when he's wrong, he blames it on the people? Just be like, all right, you know what? I was wrong on that. No, he says no, because not always his sources are telling him. It's him making this Mickey Mouse thing up.
Like I've stated before, he's taken information, let's just say, that from a WWE creative meeting. And let's just say one match on the plate for WrestleMania was Roman and Cesaro. If he reports that, he's reporting what he heard was being discussed at the time. Now, that's not a fact. That's just something that's being thrown around. And it turns into the rumor mill. Now, if he says it is a fact, that's different.
or he never heard that from anybody, and he just thought he was a big wrestling historian, and he thought because he seen the way the storyline was going that was going to be the match, and when it didn't end up happening, he blames it on it was told to him wrong. No, see, because that's what happens. Look what I do sometimes. I said Shane McMahon and Braun was going to face in either a cage or a Hell Cell. I didn't talk to anybody. It was just the way the storyline was going. Guess what? I was right, but it's not like I got it from a source. But I could have been totally wrong too. I just don't believe all.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to say this to anybody, no matter what newsletter or whatever it is it may be. Do you actually read his content, or do you read it secondhand?
I read it a lot when I was younger. I got both. I got the Wrestling Observer and I got the Pro Wrestling Torch from Retailer. And back then, I thought I was reading the right stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not going to lie, I subscribed to his stuff probably. What I lived 6 years ago, I did for a whole entire year, and I read it, but it was always coming up short. It was always coming up either part of it was right, but part of it was wrong. And I'm like, why am I reading this anymore? It's, to get a 50-50 chance.
Well, because in pro wrestling, a lot of it changes on the fly. I mean, you've seen that firsthand. Just look at some of the craziness that we've dealt with on a small scale. I mean, things absolutely change. Look at the things that we have believed to be true, even with something like Wrestle House. Look at how many things changed just in that week. Now, imagine that on a grander scale in a company like AEW, WWE, WCW, and ECW back in the day. I mean, some things that he may believe to be true and report that he believes to be true are things that can change on the fly. Now, does he go too far with his own personal opinion sometimes? I believe so. But again, that's just my opinion about what I've seen with what he does.
I don't know. Like I said, it bothers me so much because he's sometimes so wrong, but he can never take it. And then the other thing that bothers me is that he changed the 5-star to the 6-star. And the only ways it's going to get a 6-star is if it's in the Tokyo, Japan fucking dome versus some Japanese guy. And that's the only way. It's like it's sickening.
Well, again, that's one man's opinion. You know what I mean?
No,
how seriously? No. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him. His rating system is his own one man's personal opinion.
Oh,
I mean, how much credence are you gonna give one person's opinion?
Because he's lying to people. I hate it.
Well, I don't believe that part to be true. I don't like
liars. I don't like false narrative. I don't believe in that stuff. You either tell the truth or you don't. That's why when I listen to all these other guys that don't have anything to do with WWE when they're calling them out on all this bullshit, I love it. I just love it because I knew it was all lies. I love it. It makes me happy.
Well, we disagree then, I guess. I mean, I agree with part of what you're saying, but not 100% of it. I don't think he's ever sat there at his typewriter and said, let me create make-believe.
Oh, I do. Come on.
Okay, well.
You gotta listen. You would never, so I'm not even going to bother, so never mind.
My interactions with the man have always been very good.
Of course. What's he going to friggin' talk to you like shit? No. Of course not. That's not how it works. But he's got.
I've been around long enough. Usually, be able to know when I'm talking to a Connie as opposed to someone that's sincere, and I've always got that kind of a vibe from him.
He's straight up Connie, and he's straight up lying.
Well, I mean, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it.
I know you don't tune into any of those podcasts.
No.
But if you did, you would get a kick out of it. You would get a kick out of it for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, depending on the size of the podcast, the length. You got it. I'm telling you. 80% of it's whatever he reported during that time period, during whatever they're talking about, is always wrong. Always wrong. And then Eric Bischoff gives you it or Arn Anderson or a Kurt Angle will give it to you how it was really happening or how it was really set up or what really went on. So, because you know what? They were actually there. They were actually in the locker room. They actually knew what happened. Not some guy friggin' at home in his PJs watching wrestling making up fake shit. I hate it.
Well, anyway. I mean, I guess the best way to put it is don't always trust what's going to come out of the mouths of someone if it's not going to make them look good.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing is in these podcasts, Eric Bischoff will talk about what does suck and what he did wrong. So that's why I believe it. You know what I mean? That's why I do, because he will talk about shit that he did. He screwed up. What sucked? Why did he do that at Spring Stampede 98 and all that shit? Like, he'll tell you, oh, man, that was awful. Why? If I could go back in that shit. He talks the truth. That's why I believe when he's given these narratives of what he said, Dave Meltzer, is wrong, I believe it. Because why does he have to lie? No reason to now. It's been fucking
Well,
25.
I'm trying to think of a couple of examples from different headlines I've read over the year. I know there was one time, I guess there was a big battle on social media about Bischoff saying he never tried to get Brett, or they never met the first go around in '96. Bischoff denied apparently that ever happened. Is that true? Well, I know for a fact that they did, because at that point we had Kevin around the CWA, and I mean he was the main man there, other than Bischoff, as far as putting Nitro and whatnot together. So, I mean, you know what? Maybe it's just a bad memory. I mean, it's hard to remember everything. If you were to ask me everything we've done over the past 20 years here in Boston wrestling, I'm sure my memory wouldn't be spot on about a lot of it. I'm lucky that I have the memory of an elephant, and I'm pretty good with most important things, but I don't see how you forget having a meeting with Bret Hart like that, negotiating a big money contract. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get it.
And Bischoff denied, I believe, and I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Bischoff denied that it ever happened.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay.
And I think he admitted to it because they've had a recent episode on Bret Hart, and I'm pretty sure, I'd say 80% sure, he admitted that he was wrong at the time.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I give Eric Bischoff a lot of credit then for admitting he was wrong.
Right on. All right, we got to get back to the review,
back to AEW.
All right. And we had the AEW Women's Title match next. We had Kante versus Hikaru Shida. She's the champion, obviously. Love Kante. Very, very beautiful woman. Can work. Very good match, too. I think they both worked great together. Shida ended up retaining the title by pinfall. At the end, Dr. Britt Baker comes out, and a video appears on the screen, and it says, now she's the #1 contender.
Oh, boy, that's a big one.
Right on. What did you think?
Dark Order should have been running around, whistling, hi ho, it's off to work, I go.
What did you think?
Not much. Yeah, I don't know what it is, where every wrestling promotion right now is in love with Japanese women wrestling champions. It's like they're everywhere.
Don't know. From there, we get a Mero promo. He says, another week, no Kip. He needs vindication. Company can put him through all the hoopla, but will not keep him from get his destiny. So he started that stupid destiny stuff now, and you know what? They've put him down in the ground. I don't know how he's going to ever get out of it unless he just gets the ultimate push. I don't know.
This is how they should have brought him in, with promos like this, instead of the nonsense and the Mickey Mouse outfit and all that other shit that he did.
Exactly. I totally agree. From there, Tony Schiavone's in the ring interviewing the Inner Circle. Jericho says, who cares about the Pinnacle? Crowd is very loud, he says. Lots of energy tonight because of Blood and Guts May 5th. Jake Hager tells them they basically they're going to be sucking meat through a straw. Like he starts tossing the straws out. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He started tossing straws out, saying when they're done with them. Santana, who cut a great promo, man. This guy, he's like, how they have Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso? I bet he could have a good singles.
You like him that much?
He's good in the ring, and he cut a hell of a promo last night. Says the Pinnacle does bitch moves. That was the main thing. I didn't want to go on to his promo because it was like 2 minutes long. Yeah. But he's basically, the highlight was that the Pinnacle does bitch moves. Jericho says he doesn't feel what he says. Inner Circle is going to own their ass. They flick off the camera as there's music playing, and they get off the screen. So, I don't know. I like the promo. It wasn't too long. Santana stuck out to me in this promo a lot. I think he could definitely have a good singles run as well.
Well, I think we're having a microphone problem, Dave. Hold on one sec. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Well, the audio levels look fine. Maybe it's my headset. Hold on one sec. Can you hear? Oh, now wait. Hey, are you there, Dave?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess because I moved the phone. I don't know. But we're back in business. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, so this Blood and Guts is May 5th.
Yes, next 2 weeks.
See, because I was thinking I would have almost stretched out that Inner Circle promo. I would have saved it for next week. But if next week is going to be the go-home for Blood and Guts, I guess they had to do both promos this week. I would have, if I was doing long-term booking, I would have mixed it up a little bit where one of the two promos from last night he had last week. But again, that's just me.
Right on.
It wasn't a bad promo. But I mean,
No.
I wouldn't have had both on the same show.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I have one and one. Yeah, I can see that. That's true. From there, we get Billy Gunn versus Cutie Marshall. Billy Gunn still looks great, man. He looks like he
Yeah.
has an age at all.
He's an ass man, baby.
That's
We're
right.
gonna have to call Annie.
Yep. It was really just it wasn't really much of a match.
No.
Anthony Ogogo comes out and punches Billy in the stomach, which leads to Cutie pinning Gunn. Cutie gets ready to hit Gunn with the chair, but Dustin Rhodes comes out and fights off Cutie. Nick Camarado comes out and hits Dustin with the chair, and it breaks over his head.
Yeah, wild.
I don't know. I didn't even know who this guy was.
Yeah, that's the problem. They've created another faction, and no one knows who the fuck is in it.
Okay, good. So I'm glad it wasn't just me.
There should have been a package or something to introduce who all of these people in the QT faction even are.
Right on.
Poor,
I totally
poor booking. Poor creative, whoever is coming up with this. I mean, if you want to go through with this angle, okay, go with it. But at least try and do something to forget about getting them over. At least establish who the people even are that are in it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recognize the people in the QT faction if they crossed the street from the tire shop right now.
Right. And the thing is that I have to go some of these guys, and I love wrestling. I mean, I love it. That's pretty much what I watch all the time. And I have to sit there on Google sometimes and be like, who's this guy? What did he do?
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Yeah.
You know? Like it's crazy to me. And I shouldn't have to do that when I watch wrestling if you're not building them up right.
A major league company, you should not have to do that. You should know who these people are immediately.
You're a big fan, and then you're a casual fan turning it on. You're like, huh?
Yep.
Like, I don't get it. From there, we get Don Callis is in their trailer with, I guess, the Elite, all just basically giving each other props, saying this guy's, this, that, this. Talk about Kingston and Moxley being back tonight, which I was like, oh, great, here we go. Somebody is starting to honk the horn, keeps on holding it down, and Kenny Omega's trying to talk, but he's like, I can't take it anymore. Look who it is. They end up showing it. It's Moxley and Kingston in the truck. They rev up their engine and smash right into the trailer. They go in, they start smashing it with rocks or a pipe or whatever it was. They go in the trailer and no one is there. Where the hell did they all go that quick?
Secret trapdoor.
Like, it just aggravates me. If anything, they should have been in there still, and they should have fought. Like, you're telling me all 6, 7, 8 of those guys got out that quick within 20 seconds, and you wouldn't see them on the screen? Like, come on. I don't know. It was junk to me. This whole thing was junk, and then the ending was junk too, with Kingston going, "Yeah, that's how we get down. See, you mess with us." Like, please. I hate that shit. Like, come on. That was the worst.
Having him with Moxley hurts Moxley, in my opinion.
Yep, exactly. 100%. I don't know. Anything else to add to it?
I guess in their minds, they're trying to develop the Stone Cold like Rebel with Moxley, and I think it would work better if it was just Moxley. I don't think he needs the C-level sidekick, but again, one man's opinion.
Nope, absolutely, I agree. From there, we finally get the match I was looking forward to too as well. Will Hobbs versus Christian Cage. I always look forward to seeing him go because you know how many matches we're gonna get out of him left. Taz's on commentary for this one too. Hobbs is like a B version of Big E. You notice that?
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one. Yeah.
I really thought the way they build him up and the way he just looks and everything, and almost like his hand now, except it's a little bit higher than Big E's. He's like a small, B version. Yeah. I thought it was a great match, though. This Will Hobbs can really work, and Christian Cage is doing well. He looks good. Christian ends up winning by pinfall. Ricky Starks comes out limping because from the prior match he hurt his ankle.
At least he sold.
Exactly, and that's what I love, and that's when you know a guy gets it, and I love that. Stares at Christian as Christian leaves the ring, so I'm guessing they're going to end up having a match, which should be really good too, and I hope they do it. But yeah, that was the match. What did you think of it?
I thought it was better than his match with Kazarian. It wasn't anywhere near as long as that Kazarian match. It just seemed to drag. I was surprised to see Christian attempt the Vader bomb. He's a little slight for that compared to Leon White, but
right on.
I guess it worked. No, it was a good match. I wouldn't put Christian on free TV every week in meaningless matches, but that's just me. Sometimes less is more, and I think Christian in moderation has more value to them than Christian every week. One man's opinion.
No, I totally agree with that. From there, we get a video package for Jade Cargill. People that want to be her manager. She says she doesn't need anyone, but money talks. So I guess they're trying to give her a manager. She looks great. Looks like $1 million.
Oh, we
Beautiful.
know you like her.
Well, either
We
way.
know
she
why
looks
you like her.
bucks. I love her for wrestling too.
I don't know about
She's a
that.
woman, and she's just a physical specimen. Looks great. From there we get the main event. The TNT Championship match: Darby Allin with Sting versus Jungle Boy, with Luchasaurus. Good match, really good match. But I think about it as a casual fan, they're turning on and watching this little kid in the ring. Like Darby Allin, at least whatever. But Jungle Boy's what, 140 pounds?
Very slight.
That's what I was gonna say for the reviewers. I would have rather seen this match because of the size, such two small guys in the middle, and had the main event being what we said.
Or I think it would have been a good opening match.
Right, exactly. Sting and Luchasaurus going at it at the end, right into the tunnel. They're fighting each other right through the tunnel. Darby Allin ends up winning by pinfall. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page attack Darby and Jungle Boy. Lance Archer comes out to try and help. Then Sting comes out with the baseball bat and starts pointing at people. Yeah. I love the pairing between Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. I hate that they're robbing us and putting it on that YouTube show, whatever it is, on Monday nights. They should be working on Wednesday nights so people can see this team, because both guys are phenomenal. But I'm not going to sit there and watch that over Raw or watch it before Raw. So put them on TV, please, because they're very good. What did you think of the match?
I'm sure it'll get to that. I thought the match, it was as much spots as it was work, so to speak. They went out there, they did their thing. It wasn't a bad match by any stretch of the imagination. It was very athletic.
What do you think of Jungle Boy?
I think he's a spot guy.
Right on.
You know what I mean? I don't think that.
Yeah, right on.
I think he's a guy that has pieces of the 500-piece jigsaw puzzle, but he yet has been able to put the jigsaw puzzle together. And that's going to hurt them because of the lack of work. Even in the best of times, they run one show a week. For these guys to improve, they need to be out on the road, which again, does that mean, do you have them work quality independents once the independents come back? I know AEW, their contracts are structured a little different than WWE, where they're more independent contractors in spirit than WWE independent contractors are, who don't have the ability to do certain things they may want to do in a perfect independent contractor world. But, I just thought at the end it was overbooked, as it usually is. It seems like Sting and Darby are feuding with everyone and every faction in the company. And again, I just think it would have made for just kind of a better cruiserweight type opening match than the main event of the show.
Right on. And I got one more thing is, what are they waiting for with Lance Archer? What are they waiting for?
I don't know. Is he a face? Is he a heel? It almost seems like it changes every week.
Tell us what he is, and what are you waiting for? Put him in title matches, man. That guy is money. He's a big dude, can work, looks great. Come on.
And I like that little tracksuit that they got for Jake.
Yeah,
he wasn't in his jeans and his T-shirt that was a size or two too small. Jake was pimping.
Yeah, you look good with that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I can only take this Kenny Omega crap so much longer, man. It's junk.
Well, I don't think it's the best utilization of him. I think he's a top guy and deserves to be a top guy in that company. Oh,
yeah, absolutely. But what they have for him right now, I don't like. That's what I meant. I'm not saying no. I don't totally agree with you. Yeah, he's definitely a top guy. He's good. It's just, I just don't get what they're waiting for with Lance Archer. Yeah, for the show, I gave it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was really good.
You really liked it. Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good show. I didn't think there was really nothing other than the flip-flop of the match, which I was going to say to you. I thought the card was really good. It was definitely led to next week, too. Some of the stuff with the Ricky Starks looking great. The Pinnacle stuff, the Inner Circle, it makes me want to watch next week, see what happens.
Well, I was close. I gave it a 6 because, again, to me, when you get to the 7s, the 8s, you should be talking about high-quality, pay-per-view, quality-level matches. And they had some good matches on this show. I thought that was pretty good. But other than that, there was nothing that really stood out to me as great. It was kind of promo heavy.
I thought the Will Hobbs Christian Cage could definitely been a match that could have been on pay-per-view at some point too.
Like I said, I didn't think it was a bad show. To me, I think a good TV show should be about a 6 or a 7.
Right on.
I think if you're talking about TV shows hitting 8, 9s, and 10s, you're almost talking about quality that should be on a pay-per-view. You know what I mean?
Right on. Yeah, exactly. Right on.
But you know what? I'm actually kind of interested because our intern Justin is at least a moderate fan. Justin, can you hear me? Have you ever heard of AEW? And what do you know of it? You've just heard of it. That's about it. You know it exists. Did you know that Dean Ambrose is in it? Yeah, but what about Chris Jericho? He didn't even know Chris Jericho's in it. So, you know what? That's why maybe sometimes going out to try and get a Tyson or a Shaq or something like that will help attract some eyeballs, because we have here in the studio an intern that was a big fan of WWE, and he barely has any knowledge of AEW's existence. So there you go.
Right, but it just shows that they didn't do the right thing with Tyson and Shaq because he still didn't know they were there.
Well, he didn't know they were there. Well, I find it interesting. I love when we have people that come in and out of the studio that have a moderate knowledge, because those are the ones whose brains I like to pick. The diehard fans are going to know everything. The casual fans are the one I'm always interested in picking the brain of to see what they like, what they don't like. I had a very interesting talk with Justin Too Good last night about what he liked about WWE present day, what he doesn't like about WWE present day. He is a high school senior, Justin? He's a high school senior, so a different point of view compared to us. You know what I mean?
Right on. Yeah, absolutely. Well, go ahead.
No, that's about it. I mean, I gave it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was, for a wrestling show, it was watchable. It really wasn't boring. There weren't too many times where I said, geez, I want to change the channel. So I thought they did good.
So, right on. So for some news and notes, I have a couple things, but this was just something that I thought was kind of interesting. It's Daniel Bryan says he wants to wrestle for other companies when his WWE contract expires. And he goes on to say that he would like to wrestle on ROH, Jonathan Gresham, and AEW star Jungle Boy. He would like to wrestle as well.
Really?
And also,
he said Jungle Boy?
Yeah, this is
Jesus Christ, Daniel. How many concussions did you have?
Right on. And I guess his contract's ready to expire this fall. So I wonder if he'll get out of it, if he won't sign back, because he wants to wrestle in other companies, he said. So I wonder what he's going to do. He said also because of his life, he wants to be able to part-time, but he still wants to be able to wrestle. And with WWE, it's, go, go, go. So I don't know.
I mean, is there really go, go, go in WWE right now?
Not right now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, once life gets back to normal. No, I understand what you mean. I think at the end of the day, money talks. I think Daniel is still at a point now where he's not at the Big Show or Sting or Christian level. I think WWE will make it worth his while to stay. Unfortunately, I think that'll include the wife, but what are you going to do? Ilka's right.
Yeah. From there, today I was listening. Tony Khan explains why he hasn't basically promoted Impact Wrestling's show this weekend, because Kenny Omega's there, and he had to say, people have asked me why I haven't gone out and spent a lot of money on promoting Rebellion. It's when I've got to your guys to promote the cards. When he goes on their show like Impact, he promotes the cards. I've had to pay by ads. It's kind of on Impact that they haven't reached out to ask him to promote on theirs. But there's a little free ad for me. Kenny Omega is coming up this weekend to Impact Wrestling. He's going to be wrestling for the world title. If it's possible, Rich Swann could be the AEW World Champion next week. It's also quite possible Kenny Omega will be the Impact Champion. The AAA champion, of course, the AEW champion. We should see next week. What do you think they're going to do for that?
I'd give it to Omega.
So you think he's going to be, wow.
I do.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to think about, huh?
Well, this was all his idea to begin with, him and Don Callis, so I see them going all the way with it.
Yeah. It's crazy to me. Like,
I mean, if you're Tony Khan in AEW, are you going to send Omega to do a job on the Impact pay-per-view? I know I wouldn't.
Oh, right on. Poor Rich Swann gets thrown in this mess.
Well, who's the biggest star? I mean, come on. And
right.
you know,
and
I think the world of Rich, but
it just sucks. It just sucks for Rich Swann because he gets thrown in this mess. But anyways, it's so crazy what a time now. You got national television promotions, and they're good both on different shows. It's just crazy. You'd never see it with WWE ever.
Well, it'll be interesting. At some point, Omega will have to lose that Impact Championship. And whoever wins the Impact, and if this is how it goes, which is I'm presuming it will, whoever it is that beats Omega for the Impact title, I think that makes them, a much bigger star in the grand scheme of the genre.
Right on. I totally agree, 100%. And other than that, that's all I got.
That's all we got?
That's all I got.
All right, wrestling fans. Well, we hope you enjoyed our review of this week's AEW Dynamite. It was a pretty good show, pretty watchable. Started to build up the blood and guts. One match Dynamite coming up on May the 5th, I believe, is the date that Dave threw out there.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that match. I believe we will see some blood. I don't know about any guts, but, they were saving that for the landmine match, and it really didn't happen. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Right.
What are you going to do?
I don't know how this is going to be. Well, how are we going to review next week with one match?
It's going to be a pretty short show.
Right?
It's going to be, we might have to throw in Dark and Elevation or whatever the hell the Monday show is too that week.
I just thought about that right now. How are we going to do a review? But we will try.
As always, we do what we can. And folks, again, don't forget all the different ways you can help grow the channel. Tell a friend on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook wrestling groups. That should be one of your missions, Dave. Search out some of these Facebook wrestling groups we can promote the show.
Oh, I've already done it. I've already done a few. I'm part of the ECW. It's called ECW Hardcore Fan Club and whatever group on there. And I've been promoting it on there a lot, the New Jack thing.
Oh, perfect. Well, see, there you go.
So,
and I didn't even mention that. Saturday night, May the 8th, we're going to have the ECW Icon here live in the studio. It's going to be a hell of a good time taping Wrestling Insider episode, cyber autograph signing for fans around the globe. I believe that is a pay-per-view free Saturday, which is nice. We don't have to compete with anyone else or anything going on.
Right on.
And again, so give the show a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you click that little bell, it gives you a notification every time a new show comes on. And the hardworking staff here in Boston Wrestling is bringing you content, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not even 6, but 7 days a week. Help this sorry, tired soul out. He needs a little bit of love, guys. He needs a little bit of love. Hook us up that way. Again, the Super Chat is open for business. Don't forget to tip the bartender. Everybody watching contributed $1. Think of how that would add up and all the great superstars we could bring to the studio as well. We mentioned it before. I had my trip to the post office. I saw Cecil the Lion on Main Street in front of the barber shop. Luckily, today there was no line. There was only one Bozak in front of me. Got right through, got those packages out, sent the tracking numbers out. We got waiting for Demolition Axe to send the pictures that he signed down in Florida from the Wrestle House event he missed. And all of those Wrestle House 8x10s are going to go out, so everybody is going to be happy. I just hope I don't hit the line, because sometimes that line at the post office can be rough. And again, beyond all that great merchandise available on eBay is the Familia. If you watch any of our shows, we consider you to be a great friend. At least that's what Justin told me. But if you want to be part of the Boston Wrestling MWF family, there's only one place to be, and that's Patreon. Patreon.com/Boston Wrestling, where you get early ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insider in-studio shoot interviews. You get access to our world-renowned studio shoot interview DVD library that has been seen by millions online, millions around the world on the Howard Stern Show. You get some Patreon exclusive videos, you get some perks, and you get the knowledge that you, yes you, that handsome or that sexy individual that you look at in the mirror every morning when you're brushing your teeth to get ready to start your day, you are helping keep great professional wrestling legends working. To me, that's what it's all about. It's a great passion of mine. I want to keep these legends working. I want them on the road. Live events are starting to come back a little bit, but, fan fests and wrestling shows and conventions, it's all very, very limited, Dave, and for us to be able to help these guys earn a little money, to me, I think that's a great thing. And I know once the convention circuit starts up again, I think it would be great for us to hit the road to some of these conventions, not only to do signings with some of our co-hosts, but to promote all our talk shows together.
Right on. I would totally be down for that.
Well, I know there's a big one in North Carolina coming up, I believe, in July that might be of interest to us.
You know what we need to do? We need to get some cards made.
Yeah.
Like some business cards, just to give people about just Boss Wrestling, where to find us, like things like that. So you can check it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's a great thing. Once live events come back again, we can pass them out there. And like I said, we could rent booths at conventions and, again, spread the word. And it's great advertising. Hundreds, if not thousands of fans attend those conventions and stop by, get an autograph photo, pose for a photo with one of our featured superstars. And, along with it, we give them the scoopage, so to speak. It's got all the information on the shows, maybe on the back of the 8x10.
Right on.
We'll see. Well, a lot to talk about. Off the air on that. For my partner in crime, Dave Carter, I'm Dan Mirade. Don't forget, tonight at 10 p.m., it's Party with Marty. Marty Jannetty returns to talk WWF 1989. Tomorrow night after SmackDown at 10 p.m., when the lights in the Thunderdome go down, his dome lights up, and he's got Majo Oulette fever. They're going to be apparently appearing together on USA Network's Temptation Island on Season 5. John Cena Sr. is back as we finish our recap of Night 2 of WrestleMania, some in-depth analysis from Johnny Cena Sr. himself. Then on Saturday night, we're back, baby, at 7 p.m. Dave and I break down the previous night's SmackDown, and we wrap up our Saturday night with Wrestling Insider's Week in Review with all the great shoots we had this week. And it culminates with a special Sunday because not only do we have the history and the flashback videos per every Sunday, but we go live with Impact Wrestling. Is it Rebellion?
Rebellion.
Impact Wrestling Rebellion. It's AEW versus Impact Wrestling Champion. It is going to be historic. Mauro Ranallo is being brought in, so I think there's going to be a lot of screaming involved. And we may have to break out the prize wheel, Dave.
We should do it.
We need to break out the prize wheel. We got to come up with something good for these fine fans. All right.
2 prizes.
What's that?
2 prizes.
You want 2 prizes. All right, well, we'll see what we can do. For my partner in crime, Mr. Dave Carter, I'm Dan Mirade. We will see you at 10 o'clock with Marty Jannetty. Enjoy the evening. The World Wrestling Federation was live at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden in New York, New York, Monday, April the 22nd, 1991. In the opening contest, the Dragon beat Hikaru. Power and Glory with the win over the Bushwhackers. The Big Boss Man defeated the Mountie. Sergeant Slaughter victorious over WWF World Champion Hulk Hogan via disqualification. IRS beat Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich battled the Warlord to a double countout. The Rockers and Virgil with the win over the Orient Express and Mr. Fuji. And Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase defeated Rowdy Roddy Piper via referee's decision when Piper wouldn't submit to the figure 4. If you were at MSG Live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston wrestling sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view, watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.